And we're back, so we're just gonna get started to make sure Horsea's in the lead. But, last part, we upgraded a bunch of moves, basically, and just overall got started on this hostile takeover, which gives us plenty of experience to throw at Horsea. Though, I did off-screen real quick get rid of a bunch of... Wow. Horsea just gets destroyed. But I did get rid of a bunch of items. I sold and stored them. I stored the Firestone and the Dragon Scale from what I remember. Oh, come on, Horsea. Come on. I believe in you. I totally believe in you. Well, okay. We're not going to mess with that anymore. Let's see. So, what's going on right now? Well, we're, of course, you know, stopping Team Rocket from taking over the, stupid radio tower. I'm not even gonna waste my time. It's a Zubat. It's really not that important. Should get a gold bat, dude. Be more entertaining that way. So, there is a what? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that he reminded me. Perfect dialogue. So this is set 3 years after the fall of Team Rocket in Kanto, which, if you remember, we just basically went die Giovanni, and he just ran away. That was basically it. He ran away 3 times and never came back. It was like a Bowser fight. But overall, like, they're back 3 years later, and what's really amazing about this is apparently a bunch of people from the Sevi Islands, as you learn in Fire Red and Leaf Green, are a part of this takeover, and it's just like, okay, where'd this plan come about where we were like, we're going to take over a radio tower. Then we're going to transmit to Giovanni that we have taken over the radio tower. And he should come back and be the leader of Team Rocket again. One, I have a problem with this because in any type of like leadership change of that, usually a power-hungry person or someone that's very manipulative is able to just take on the role, or their goal is to take on the role, and so they do take it. A muck. That's interesting. But they end up taking the role, and they won't give it back. Like, as we'll find out, there is a leader to this, but I don't see Giovanni ever getting the role back, even if he did come back. Like, that's not a thing. A pound, psychic, we should murder. Mark is actually very specially defensive, which is something you don't expect from whatever it is. Like, if I wasn't so high level, I'm pretty sure it would have lived. Water gun. It's not even worth the time. That's for sure. But, there are a bunch of executives in here in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and you fight them all before. Sales. But you fight them all before in the earlier parts of the game. Here, there's a lot less executives because the Slowpoke well didn't have one. What the hell is this mess? Where they like, crap, we need to block the stairs. But can't you just go behind the... whatever. But that means there's not one there. And then I think... is there supposed to be one? No, never mind. There should be 3 then. Just jinx. But overall, there's a lot less executives, so we fought Ariana. I don't know how you would say the name Ariana. Really? I'm just gonna use a berry, I think. I think I have another berry, so it should be good. But The executive fights are actually kind of pathetic in Crystal. They're a little tougher in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but overall they're not that hard. That is the wrong option. Paralysis. Ew. This is a problem. I have an antidote though. Yes, it is a waste, but at this point, antidotes aren't useful unless that comes up. I've been given strict orders. But there's one thing that's to note, that to get up these stairs in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you need a Rocky uniform. So you need to go into the basement where we saw, of interest. It is a coughing, physically defensive, not specially. But overall, you need to go to the rockets and get... That was dumb. I should have expected that. What a waste of experience. Alright. Let's just send out Typhlosion. I don't want to deal with this. That sucks. That's valuable experience down the drain. But in Heart Gold Soul Silver, you need to go and collect a uniform to sneak in as a rocket, and then immediately your cover gets blown, so it's not very useful. But it's just a way to add something, because it doesn't make sense that you would just be able to walk up. I never changed this. Huh. Thunder Punch. Yeah, that's like overkill. Why don't they have Golbats? I really question this because we saw an Arbok earlier. Why do they have Rattatas? Why? Explain. I understand the thought process, man. We really need Kanto to be high level, but can you just not? Like, it's not even fun. I fought a level 35 Steelix. Like, can we just get something that would be like, damn, this is maybe a challenge, instead of just a random self-destructing coughing? It's ridiculous. And it really sucks that we have to go heal because Horsea can in fact not do anything. It really sucks. But eventually we'll get there. Horsea is... how many levels? Is it 21 or 22? Well, if it's 21, it is only 11 levels away from getting to its precious evolution. It's actually kind of a late evolution when you think about it in comparison to a bunch of other stuff. But it'll work. I prefer it over a bunch of other water types. Actually, just when I was planning for my water type, because there's so many, you have to plan for your water type. I was really contemplating maybe a Tentacruel, because Tentacruel is always fun to use. But again, like with Red and Blue, I decided, nah, I'd rather do something else. I was actually gonna maybe use a Lapras again, but then I decided I didn't like the requirement for getting it on Fridays, and maybe I wouldn't be able to get to it for a while, depending on how it went. But it still worked out, of course. But what else was an option? I was maybe gonna use a Vaporeon, but that didn't go anywhere. That didn't go far. I was maybe gonna contemplate using one of the legendary dogs, but Typhlosion took that. You don't need Raikou because of Thunder Punch existing. And also, Gengar was a planned team member, so it was kind of like, eh. Horsea. But, what else? And then Suicune, if I'm gonna use a water type like that, that's for tanking purposes, I can't speak apparently, but apparently, restart. If I was gonna use a water type like that, I might as well just go with one that isn't like just a pure water. Like I was at one point I was even thinking, man, Quagsire would be a useful addition, But Typhlosion, come on, dude. This is your chance to shine. Thank you, jeez. It's also amazing that this Magnemite walls a total of 2 of my Pokemon, Jinx and Gengar. Doesn't wall Meltank because Meltank has Fire Punch. And Horsea can hit it with Surf, though it wouldn't kill it, so sucks. But when it comes to water types, you have plenty to choose from. And even if we just go over like stuff that we've seen, Tentacruel has been available to you at this point. You could catch it in the wild. Mantine is not a bad choice. Gyarados, well, you catch a level 30, and I'm not a big fan of using Gyarados in Gen 2. It's still a viable option. You still have Lapras, which you saw is on Fridays. Vaporeon, we've gotten Eevee, so the only thing that you have to wait for a Water Stone at that point. That was also one of the negative reasons I didn't choose it. You could have gone with Totodile as your starter, is also a valid water type. Politoed is available, along with Poliwrath, though I recommend Politoed because Poliwrath gets destroyed by a lot of special and physical types because of the extra fighting thing. So, we saw a type of door below in the previous floor. That door can only be accessed with a keycard. Ooh, surprise. So we're going to have to go find it wherever it may be. And to Meltank we go. But when it comes to... I actually got a private message of all things on YouTube asking how do I make my teams. And it's mostly just what starter do I want to use. What Pokemon do I actually 100% want to use. Usually Gengar falls under that category because it's so easy to use. And then mostly stuff that I haven't used in a while. I'll put something in that I haven't used. I haven't used Meltank in years, so I put it there. I remember it being very good when I did use it, so might as well. I also usually put in something that I haven't like ever thought of using, which Jinx is very new. I don't remember ever using a Jinx. I did use a Smoochum and then I dropped it because I got annoyed. But this time I stuck with it. What is with confusion? I should have gone with Thunder Punch, but... Okay, Typhlosion, we have to talk about this, dude. Okay, you can tank one more, Thunder Punch. But... And really, you could play with any Pokemon you want. You could play with however many you want. I prefer making my own team of 6. And one of the recommendations I can have is just play the game. But one of the things I can recommend is that you do not do solo runs because they're not fun. They're actually really not fun. In my opinion, they just... What I've never understood about solo runs, especially when you're not doing speedrun, I can understand why speedrun is fun. You get that type of adrenaline going where you're like, I'm going to get this speed going, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and it's all kind of a formulaic approach, which is kind of hard to do in Pokemon, so it's a challenge. I understand that. But I've never understood solo runs because it's not hard. You can do a solo run with anything. If your level is too much higher than the other person, it's not really a challenge. But that's going to be it. I'm going to stop it here because we would be here for more than a minute, which is what I have left. So next time we'll be going back up the tower again, even more. And we'll also be having to find a key card apparently. So till then.